This episode is brought to you by Freeman Painting. Freeman Painting is Alabama's most reliable painting service, transforming homes and businesses by providing expert service with a proven process. Freeman Painting always gets the job done in a timely manner, giving you time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Give the guys at Freeman Painting a call at 205-300-4848. That's 205-300-4848. Freeman Painting. We do the painting, you do life. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Game Managers Podcast. I am Nick Norris, and with me as always are my co-hosts, Justin Knight joining us from Auburn.
What's up, guys?
And Aaron Patterson joining me from right here in Sipsey, Alabama.
Boo.
Howdy.
So, if we sound a little agitated and tired, that's because it's 1 a.m. We recorded about 30 minutes of this podcast and then realized that none of it actually recorded.
So this is round two.
Round two.
I have to relive my sorrow of talking about Auburn and Florida again, so.
But an even bigger loss of the night, of the weekend, I should say, since it happened yesterday, was UCF losing.
It was beautiful.
That was probably the best part so far of my weekend.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get some joy out of the weekend. What do you guys think went wrong with this program?
I think it was just a matter of time. It was just one of those programs that had a couple years of a good high, and now they're just coming back down to reality.
Yeah, I think that the new quarterback maybe has something to do with that as well. Maybe he's not as talented as the last four. I think he threw 4 picks in UCF's loss Friday night.
One of those was the pick six that changed the game.
Yeah. So a second loss of the season after going 2 straight undefeated. And
Nick can attest to this, but I called both of those losses. So
you did. That is true.
I'm just saying.
You're a prophet.
I guess so for UCF, but not for Auburn.
Yeah, I hope Houston beats them later this season, too.
That would be amazing.
It could happen.
I just hope they don't win the conference. That would be even better.
That would be funny.
Yes, that would be amazing. And then we get a different group of 5 team in the playoffs.
That would be, I said that earlier this year. Like
Boise State makes it.
Oh, man, that would be funny.
Well, we're going to get into the Auburn-Florida game today, the Auburn loss, a little later. But to all the Auburn fans listening to this, do not panic because all the goals are still ahead of y'all.
Well, you should be panicking if you're an Auburn fan after today's performance.
Justin, the Auburn fan, says to panic. I say, hang in there. There's a lot of football to be left.
Well,
all the goals are still
attainable. Knowing Malzahn's your coach, I'd be panicking. 8-5, baby. 8-5.
All right, well, let's get into Twitter news with Aaron Patterson.
Let's do it.
Twitter news.
Playoffs? Let's talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
It really doesn't matter what you think.
You play to win the game. You play to win the game.
So, first off, you definitely need to go check out Cincinnati football's tweet after the win over UCF. It was quite a good one. Can't really show you, so you need to go check it out. It's pretty good. Not much happening during the week. Just enjoyed seeing a bunch of freezing cold takes. If you don't follow them on Twitter, highly recommend it. Calling out people who just tweet after tweet saying Auburn would blow the doors off of Florida. Gotta love those. Yeah. And then let's go to Saturday Down South on Twitter. Says, here's a sentence we never thought we'd say. Les Miles is currently beating Jalen Hurts in Kansas.
Yeah, that game was interesting at first. Kansas held the lead for most of the first quarter, almost the entire quarter, 7-0. But of course, Jalen Hurts got it together and did his thing and smashed them.
Yeah,
they gave it a good try.
So yeah, that was definitely an odd sentence if you would have saw that a year ago.
Absolutely,
a lot of things changed. I saw College Game Day tweeted that they are opening the 2020 season from Dublin, Ireland, with Notre Dame and Navy.
Yeah, I got to say I love these overseas games, all of them that they do. I've done an article on this, and some of the most interesting ones I found were those over in Japan, which there was a lot of those that I didn't expect. Yeah, and the ones in Australia. There's a good amount there, too.
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty awesome experiences.
Yeah, you don't really think Japan when you think college football, but apparently there's a little bit of a craving for it there, which I thought was very interesting. Actually, a professor of mine, he's a huge baseball fan, and he went to a baseball game in Japan.
Yeah, they love their baseball in Japan.
Baseball.
Yeah, he said it's a very different experience. So no popcorn or hot dogs. You got a lot of squid.
Yeah,
a lot of octopus, and they said almost the entire game is just a concert because you're just singing the entire game. Said every player has their own song that you sing, and they said it's really like the crowd is really a part of the experience.
Maybe the MLB needs to do that because they're constantly trying to figure out ways to make the game not as boring.
Yeah, maybe.
Next tweet's by Uncle Rico Fever. It says, if you took a time machine back to when the world had one single landmass, you would find Velociraptor football teams running the exact same passing scheme Gus Malzahn ran today. And this is what we talked about during the game. He's still a high school football coach at heart.
Yeah, we're going to get into some of those schemes and choices later on, but they were definitely questionable, to say the least.
The next one's by the same guy. It says, has someone taken Jeremy Pruitt's family hostage?
Tennessee. We saw a different Tennessee tonight. They hung with Georgia for a while, and even
for the first half, anyways. They held in there. I was very surprised.
Even when they were just getting smashed.
Yeah, even when it started to get out of hand, they still looked to be playing hard, but ultimately, I think Georgia covered. So it was
I would say
pretty big win.
And like you said, Justin, starting a new quarterback this week. He did look a lot better.
He did. He was the reason they were in the lead to start off, first quarter. He played really well.
And then the last tweet I got for you says, one of the greatest rivalry in sports is SEC coaches versus fake kick plays.
We'll get into that too.
Another crazy one today from Florida.
Yeah. So we saw it last year in the SEC championship with Georgia's atrocious fake punt that the announcers even called out before it even happened.
Yeah,
Gary Danielson called it out.
If you have Gary Danielson calling out a play, you know it's bad.
So, very questionable. And we're going to get right into the Auburn stuff right after our new segment we are implementing this week. This is called Tide versus Tigers Trivia, where we pick two random fans off our Facebook page to compete for a weekly prize. This week, it's for an Alabama or Auburn tumbler. So let's get right into that. This week's segment of Tide vs. Tigers Trivia is brought to you by Metal Central. Metal Central, located in Jasper, is your source for metal roofing that lasts a lifetime. Metal Central also offers metal building packages, custom trim, doors, and more to complete any job. Call Metal Central for a quote today. 205-385-7575. That's 205-385-7575. All right, now let's get into today's segment of Tide vs. Tigers Trivia. We're here with Dennis calling in from Dothan.
Yes, sir.
We're also on here with Jamie. Jamie, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the metropolis of Sipsey, Alabama.
Sipsey, Alabama. All right, well, Jamie's going to be representing the Crimson Tide, and Dennis is going to be representing the Auburn Tigers today. How are y'all doing?
Roll Tide. War Eagle.
All right, Jamie, we're going to start with you. Whoever wins gets a tumbler, either an Alabama or an Auburn tumbler. So here we go, Jamie. Who was Alabama's first Heisman winner?
Mark Ingram.
Yep. All right. Dennis, who was Auburn's second Heisman winner?
Bo Jackson.
Got it. All right, Jamie. Name Alabama's last 3 coaches in the order they coached.
Dennis Franchione, Mike Shula, and then Nick Saban.
You forgot Mike Price in 2003.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
3 weeks that he was a coach.
Yeah. All right, Dennis, name Auburn's last 3 coaches.
Tommy Tuberville, Gene Chizik, and Gus Malzahn.
All right. Jamie, who was Alabama played its first game in 1892. Who was the coach? It's E.B. Beaumont. Never heard of him.
But I'm sure he's a dang fine coach.
Well, you'll hear about him in just a second. Who was Auburn's first coach in 1892?
I don't know that one at all. No idea.
It's Dr. George Petrie.
Oh, man.
All right, Jamie. One of Alabama's most memorable Iron Bowl wins was the kick game, in which Van Tiffen lined up a 52-yard kick and made it as time expired to win the game 25-23. What year did this occur?
Well, Auburn was supposed to win that day. They had all the momentum. We had Perkins as our coach, which was not a real good hire at the time. But somehow Alabama shut down Bo Jackson, and Van Tiffen broke the hearts of many Tiger fans that day.
That's right. What year was it?
1984.
1984.
Or 85.
It's 85. Yeah. All right. The infamous Bama punt game was won by the Tigers on the strength of 2 blocked Alabama punts, both returned for touchdowns in the fourth quarter of the game. Bill Newton blocked both kicks, and ironically enough, David Langer ran in both punts for touchdowns. In what year did this occur?
I believe that was 1972.
Yep, that's right. All right, last question for you both. Alabama won the first game they ever played. Who did they beat?
Alabama won the first game they ever played. Who did they beat? Say Georgia Tech.
They actually beat Birmingham High School 56-0.
We beat the same team last week, didn't we?
I believe so. All right.
They're playing them every week.
Auburn won the first football game they ever played, too. Who did they beat?
Let's see. I'm just going to make a guess on this, but I have no clue. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech as well.
Close. It was Georgia, 10-0.
Wow.
Yeah, the South Oldest rivalry. All right. Well, Dennis edged you out by 1, so he's going to be the winner of this week's tumbler. But do y'all have any smack talk going forward? Any predictions for the Iron Bowl?
Well, the Iron Bowl will end up like it usually does. Alabama will win another victory because we're playing a bunch of nobodies that day like we did last week. And like Dennis said a while ago, we've not played anybody yet this year. So, I mean, that's crazy. I don't know, man. It's a big year for all. It's on, good stats, but I mean, like you say, he's playing a bunch of high school teams and junior high teams, so we'll see what happens.
All right, good deal. Well, Dennis.
Good talking to you, Dennis. Easy, sir. War Eagle. Roll Tide.
All right, Dennis. I'm going to message you and get your details so we can get this shipped out to you. But I appreciate you both.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right, have a good one. All right, so now let's talk about Auburn, Florida. Justin, I'd like to hear your initial thoughts as you're the Auburn guy.
Gosh. It's hard to start anywhere except to look, and I see, Auburn forced 4 turnovers from Florida. You would think that should be a good win. But then you look, Auburn had 4 turnovers as well. and they lost by 2 possessions. And, oh my gosh, I was just looking this up, and it was the 13th worst performance on offense by a Malzahn coach team. And it seems about right. I mean, Bo Nix had his worst day as quarterback at Auburn. It was rough. I mean, some of the throws he made, he was forcing balls. And then, in one of the plays, we were on Florida's 35-yard line. It's 3rd and 9. He drops back, and he's running in circles, and he runs 20 yards backwards, and we're out of field goal range. And so then we punt to Florida, and then before we know it, they run it 80 yards on the first play, and that was the ball game.
I think it was 88 yards, the 5th longest.
And the longest since Emmitt Smith.
It's the 5th longest all time in Florida history.
Yeah.
Rushing touchdown, and that's the longest since Emmitt Smith.
I just look at the defense, and I feel terrible for them because they played a great game. I mean, except for that one play.
Insane.
Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson are monsters, man. They just eat up O linemen. They had a fantastic game, and so I feel terrible for them.
NFL teams are just. They've got to be salivating just watching that performance.
So before the game, I put out a poll on our Facebook page at the Game Managers Podcast. You can follow us. And it was Florida's hosting Auburn this weekend. Who you got? We had over 100 votes. 92% said Auburn Tigers, and I was one of them. I thought going into this that they had this. That Florida wouldn't be able to hang long enough, that from the Florida we had seen in prior weeks, that this Auburn team was going to smash. And I think I was let down, as was a lot of other people.
A lot of people were, yeah.
By this performance. And I want to talk about, I know that we're going to have to talk about Bo Nix, even though I don't want to criticize him too much because he is just a freshman. But I think first we need to talk about Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, I think it just confused me just about what his coaching style is, just how predictable he can be when his scripted plays don't work out on those first couple of drives.
It's his tendencies that are so bad.
It's just such the same. It's run up the middle, and then he's doing these shifting, and guys are moving all over the place. But Florida knows, because we run the little wide receiver screens, and we run these little bubble plays. We're not going down the field, and Florida's ready for this. They know we're not going to throw it down the field, so they're attacking that every single time, and they know they stop the run. They have a great chance of being an Auburn team. If an Auburn team can't run the ball, they're not going to be able to win. And
so my biggest problem with Gus is that he does all this cutesy high school schemes.
Yeah.
Which only high schools that do them are the ones that can't just line up and run the ball against somebody. I think Auburn can just line up and run the ball against anyone just about, but this, they couldn't tonight. And I think that's why we saw more of that. Yeah. But I would have rather them just kept trying that than seeing all this cutesy stuff, because it's just like when they line up to do swing and gate in a PAT or field goal, and it's hard to watch, and you're thinking, what level of football is this? I just don't think that should be Auburn's identity, and I don't think it is.
I mean, it's also frustrating when you have a backup quarterback who's 6'5", 240, and you have a 3rd and short. He's a great runner, and he's not on the field.
Yeah.
And so Florida already knows, Booby Whitlow, he's about to get the ball right up the middle. I can't tell you how many times they stopped that on the 3rd and short, and it's just frustrating to watch because Florida knows it's coming. Everybody knows that it's coming.
I believe they held Auburn to like 2 and 13 on 3rd downs.
Yeah.
It was 2 of 14.
Yeah, they had 2 first downs in the first half, and then 5 midway through the second. They had nothing going on. The schemes were just, they were bad. And I put up this poll also on our Facebook. After this loss, should Auburn be back on the hot seat? It hasn't been up long, so it's only got a little over 50 votes. But so far, 60% says yes, and then 40% say no. Do y'all agree with that?
Of Gus being on the hot seat?
Yeah. I mean, I have mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I do too, because, I mean, this is a team that's got so much still ahead of them.
Yeah.
But if he was to drop LSU, Auburn, Georgia, I mean, that seat was hot at the end of last year, and that seat will be scorching if that scenario plays out.
Though.
If he loses 4 games with this team, it's
now I don't think that's going to happen, but
I don't think so either. But
the way the offense looked today, it's very high. It's very likely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the offense then. So Auburn has built their offense around a strong rushing game, and we just didn't get that tonight. LaMichael Green for Florida had more rushing yards than all of Auburn did, and Florida was not rushing the ball effectively.
No, fair enough. I mean, he got it on that last, that huge 80-yard play.
Yeah, that was the majority of his. He at one point, like late in the second quarter, they still were like negative 4 yards of rushing.
Yeah, it was 88 yards of his total 130.
Yeah.
Auburn's total rushing was 124 on 34 carries.
Yeah, so the leading rusher for Auburn, I mean, Whitlow, he had 81 yards, and there was one drive where he finally got going, and that's the drive Nix threw the interception in the end zone.
Yeah, but he only had 18 carries, which I
I know.
don't
He wasn't.
get.
He didn't get the ball enough.
Then they kept saying he's saving. They were talking about Gus saving Boobie Willow for the later half of the season, and I don't understand that. You're literally in the biggest game right now.
Yeah,
like this is what matters. You need to hand him the ball, get it going.
And I don't understand why Auburn's not getting the ball to a guy like Schwartz, who's one of the fastest guys in the country. Why are we not trying to throw it to him down the field?
One attempt, and that's it.
Yeah, he had one rushing attempt on the sweep, and they knew it was coming, but he had
zero receptions.
He had 0 receptions. That doesn't make any sense. Why is he not getting at least a deep ball at some point?
Well, Bo Nix, he was the one throwing those deep balls every once in a while. He went 11 for 27, 145 yards, 1 touchdowns, but those 3 crucial picks.
Well, and that third pick he had, he overthrew Hastings twice on that drive. I mean, he was missing them. It was miles over his head. It wasn't even close. And, I mean, that's frustrating to watch, but I mean, it's his freshman game. It's, freshmen have games like this, but then there's also other freshmen out there that don't have games like this, that, are over the top kind of guys.
But just watching this, my take is I pin this way more on Gus than I do on Bo.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Gus could have put Joey Gatewood in there. He thought his best chance was with Bo, and maybe it was, but other than that, there was a lot more problems than just Bo with this offense.
Yeah, I think it's just got to capitalize on the turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, 4 turnovers you forced, and you only scored 13 points.
And the word that...
And especially when Florida had the same amount and didn't capitalize on them at all.
No, they didn't either,
Well, the word that me and you kept using, Justin, was sloppy during this game, and that's the main way I can sum this up. It just wasn't very good.
It was a weird game.
It was a weird. I remember. Yeah, I told you that too. I said this is a weird game. I don't know what it is. It just feels weird.
There's no reason Auburn should have been down 4 after only getting 2 first downs in the first half.
Yeah, there's no reason. So let's move to the defense a little bit. The defense did look very good today. They racked up 4 sacks.
Yeah.
Caused and scooped up 4 fumbles. I mean, they set the offense up time and time again.
But the only thing that frustrates me about the defense is the slow start on the first drive. I mean, Florida made it look easy with that huge pass play over the middle. That's the only thing that I could say about the defense is slow start, and the defensive backs they struggle. They're great at tackling. They can come up and hit somebody, but pass coverage, it's low end. I think we rank like 80th in pass coverage.
Pass coverage is what Florida was able to win with in that just tearing them up with slant after slant.
Yeah, I mean, and give credit to Florida's defense. They looked fantastic.
Yeah, Florida's defense came to play. This was a defense-heavy game and just a very offense-light game.
Yeah, other than all those sloppy turnovers, it was fun seeing a more defensive-oriented game.
Yeah, it was.
And in a big-time SEC game, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, you see that less and less. It seems as the years go by. So that part of it was nice, but the frustration of the offense about negated it.
That's just the most, because Auburn finally has a good defense. It's been 3 years in a row we've had a solid defense, and now the offense sucks. So that's just. When you have games like this from the offense, which you shouldn't expect this from a guy like Gus, coming from 13-14 with how the offense was, with Nick Marshall at quarterback, and then how things have swapped now with you have a great dominating defense and the offense can struggle like this.
Yeah. Well,
frustrating being an Auburn fan.
This is what I'm going to say before I get into a question I want to ask you about this game. But to all the people on Twitter that think you're so clever for saying Bo picks, it's getting old really quick.
Yeah.
That's all I see. The people that say Bo picks instead of Bo Nix. It's getting so old so fast. It's all you see on your timeline. Everybody thinks they're just the funniest genius in the world when they tweet it.
Yeah,
it was funny. It was funny the first tweet. After that, stop. It's too easy.
If you're just tweeting that, maybe try some different content. But we'll say if you sneak it in there or something, you can get a little chuckle still. It's just you just got to be clever with it.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it already.
Always delight in Auburn and seeing Auburn fans cry.
So that would be his fifth. Yeah, his fifth interception of the year.
It's so
all
funny.
Coming in just 2 games.
Yeah, it's so funny to see how fast Auburn fans turn on him too. It's so funny to see, War Eagle anyways, and it's Auburn. I still love you. But last week he had his best game. They're like, yeah, Bo Nix has really grown up and he's going to do all this. And I just go down my timeline on Twitter today, and it's like, Bo Nix is blank. He sucks. Why is Joey Gatewood not out there? Just absolute dogging him. Obviously, I realized I couldn't repeat half of the tweets that I saw, but it's funny how they can be so loyal to War Eagle anyways, and then switch up on a freshman quarterback.
Well, if there's one thing that college football fans are not, it's rational, and that applies especially to when it involves quarterbacks. So, everybody take it easy on Bo. Like I said, this kid is, 17, 18. Yeah, he's a freshman, and he's in way over his head, and that's not his fault.
Yeah, he tried to do too much today.
He did, yeah. I would aim your frustration at Gus more than Bo, in my opinion.
Just because he's the one calling the plays, and most of his plays are set for disaster anyway. So
and he would be the first one to say it starts with him, and he didn't have the team ready, and that's the truth. What do you guys think that this win says more? This win for Florida says more about Malzahn or Mullen at this point in the season?
I'd say Malzahn.
I'd say it probably leans more towards Malzahn, but if you look at the past couple times Auburn was down in the swamp, Florida just didn't come ready to play, and I think it does say something about Dan Mullen being able to get his team ready to play and executing well. Also, they didn't execute very much like they should have, but they came ready to play, and I think it does say something to that, but definitely says more to the fact that Malzahn still chokes.
Go ahead.
I agree. I was just going to say I agree he chokes in these big games like this I just don't even know how to explain it at this point.
I saw a tweet earlier today that said Gus is a luckier Mark Richt.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think
That's a
that
great quote.
I think Malzahn is about in the same tier as Mark Richt and Jim Harbaugh. Good coaches, but maybe not necessarily great.
Yeah,
I would say that this probably says, in my opinion, it says a little bit more about Mullen just because I didn't buy into Florida prior to this game. I still not necessarily do, but he's finding ways to win. Now, they play down and up to whoever they're playing, but as long as – and that's a dangerous rope to cross, but, as long as you're staying on top of it and you are getting the wins, I guess it doesn't really matter. So,
well, I see Florida getting whipped by LSU next week.
And especially since they're going to be beat down and a little hurt and dinged up, it could easily happen.
I think them being in Death Valley
it's not going to be pretty.
At a nighttime game is definitely going to go against them, and then the fact that they are getting off of playing Auburn at home, that's going to be pretty hard to come back from. So once again, I think it's like this in most of the big SEC games. I'm going to say this quite a few times. I think it's either going to be a beat down or it's going to be a game, and I don't think there's much of an in between.
Yeah,
there's not.
Well, that about wraps it up on my takes for Auburn. Like I said, I don't think any fans should panic. Everything is still ahead of them.
I would panic.
Justin is adamant on panicking.
Like I said, if the offense performs like this we're not going to be able to outscore an LSU or an Alabama. Like, I agree, Aaron, with your take on Georgia. I think that's probably their best shot to upset.
I think y'all
Georgia.
got Georgia at home.
Just because
I really want y'all to get Georgia at home because I really want my prediction of the three. The
three-way tie.
Yeah,
the three-way ties.
But we're going to lose to LSU anyway, so.
Maybe.
Oh, there's no maybe. There's no maybe.
Well, Auburn fans, be sure to comment on our Facebook page or on this video or podcast wherever you're listening, and bless out Justin for not being a loyal fan.
I'm a loyal fan. I'm just kind of stating obvious right now. I love
You're just
Auburn.
a realist, is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm just a realist right now.
Yeah, that's right.
I go into every game thinking we can do this, but right now I'm thinking about us going into LSU and Baton Rouge. It scares me.
Well, I think it's going to scare Alabama fans when they get to it too, because that's going to be.
I am terrified.
Yeah, the LSU team is a scary team this year.
Yeah, and LSU Bama would be a great game.
I think so
and
too.
And I think that's going to be that'll be the first high-scoring LSU Bama game. It's going to be great to see.
Well, Justin, do you know what time it is?
Oh, I think I do.
Why don't you tell us?
Knight needs to know, baby. I need to know.
Knight needs to know. Probably with some of the stuff you've done before, I probably wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised if I put ashes in cookies and fed them to you?
Yeah, because it was someday for the SEC again.
That might make sense then. I guess just
How
back
does that make
during
sense?
September.
Yeah, I would like to know how it makes sense.
Now this is looking like a bad idea.
What
All
do
right.
you need to know this week?
This is just kind of piggybacking off what we just talked about. So, if you're Auburn, where do you go from here after this performance?
Okay, so you just got to pick up the pieces and keep moving. You can't dwell on this because if you win out, it doesn't matter, and that's what I would hammer home. But I wouldn't try to look too far ahead either. So I'd say let's focus on this week.
1 week at a time.
1 week at a time. Let's
True.
not worry about what the media says or what Twitter's saying. Let's pick it up. Let's regroup and let's prove that we are the Auburn team that people thought we were 5 minutes before kickoff on Saturday. And I think this team has more to prove now. I think this could be sort of like how I think Clemson nearly losing last week will be beneficial for them, and the fact that now they have something to kind of motivate themselves. They're not up on this pedestal as much, and they have to prove themselves now, and I think that's what I'd focus on, and whether it turns out good or not, completely up to Malzahn.
I think all you can do if you're Malzahn is just walk in there to the locker room and say, hey, you are not Bo Picks. You're Bo Nix.
You're just going to tell him what his name is?
Garsh Nabbit.
Garsh Nabbit. You are Bo Nix.
You're not Bo Picks.
You're not Bo Nix. You're Po Bix.
He was definitely Bo Picks
Bo
today.
Picks. Bo Nix. That's what he say?
Probably
not. What else you got for us?
I just said that because I could picture him going in there like, hey, I know I've been on Twitter. I've seen the tweets. You're not Bo Picks, okay, man?
Malzahn is on Twitter. All he ever tweets is boom, like once every 3 months. And it'll just be at random times. Sometimes after nothing happens at all, it'll just say boom.
It'll be the middle of the week.
Yeah.
It's like on Tuesday night, chilling.
Boom. Just at Waffle House, eating some smothered hash browns, and boom.
I'd be booming that too.
It sounds pretty good right now. We're recording this at 1:30 a.m.
Man, I wish I was with y'all. We could go get some Waffle House right now.
We'll just drive out to Auburn and meet you.
No, we won't. Right. We won't do that. Hey, I'm all in agreement. Some Waffle House would be killer right now.
It would.
Not good. Not
the 3 hours to Auburn.
Nope.
Very tired. Good loss. But also, like we've said, Auburn controls their destiny. They got a well-needed bye next week before they go see Arkansas. So you never know. This could be like the 2013 season where they had that one loss to LSU and then they won out. So you never know.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that was a big switch from no, you need to panic. You need to panic.
Well,
you never know, man. We could do this.
That's just the life of an Auburn fan.
Yeah, it really is.
The life of an Auburn fan, man. It sucks, and sometimes it's amazing.
It's a lot of highs and lows.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. Usually we have some sorcery with some of these crazy luck we have, and then it just comes back to bite us in the butt.
Yeah, you pay for it.
That's true. Yeah, we do pay for it.
All right.
I'm
you just hang on to those lucky moments. That's all you have.
That's all I have. I'm still just thinking back to 13, kick 6, the miracle of Jordan Hare.
Yep, that was the time. We see it every Auburn game on CBS.
They showed it against A&M, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're showing this.
Between that and you have to wonder how the absence of Devin White has impacted the play of this game.
Yeah, Gary's never really living that one down.
Oh, no, he's not. Oh, man. Okay. Second thing I need to know. So with the West, LSU and Alabama going in right now, who do you think is going to end up winning the West out of those two? Or will we have a tie, possibly?
I think whoever wins the head-to-head in the Alabama-LSU game wins the West.
Yeah,
I would probably say Alabama. I just think they are a better team. Now, they're not unbeatable, and they're definitely not a complete team. And LSU is going to tear that defense up. But I do think that Alabama will be able to put up more points than LSU will.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with it being a 2:30 game at Bryant-Denny this year, and I think that gives them an edge, and I do think they'll be able to outscore them.
Now, if this game was at Death Valley at night,
I'd be worried, man.
I would say it's a complete toss-up, and it still is, but I would, if I had to put some money down, I'd put it down on Alabama.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. All right, so with UCF losing again this Friday, got to keep saying it because it doesn't get old. Who's going to be the next non-top 5 power, or non-power 5 team, should I say, to kind of take their spot?
Man, I was hoping
one team.
I was hoping it was going to be UAB until they lost to Western Kentucky. I was really hoping UAB would.
Did they win? Did they end up winning?
Yeah, they won today. That had 2 very long weather delays. But yeah, I was hoping that UAB could be that team, that they would fall in place like after the program shutting down and then all that. If they could use that same platform that UCF had, but instead of not like turning it to actually become America's team, like instead of being the cringy, like, no, we're national champions, like UCF did.
Yeah,
that's what I was really hoping for. But
yeah, I would probably say
I don't think it's going to be them now, but that's what I was hoping for.
I would say just going historically by the last 10 years, 15 years, whatever it's been now. And by the way they look this year, I'd probably say Boise State is your best chance.
Yeah, probably.
Boise looks good. They're undefeated. Do I think they'll get in? No. But
no, they won't get in, no.
I think they're that team, though. I think that's a team that when they were good, like a few years ago, everybody loved them. They were kind of America's team.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see them get in if they, maybe not this year if they're not good enough, but I'd love to see them at some point get in. I'd love to see a Group of 5 team outside of UCF get in.
Well, I mean, that'll bring up a good topic we talk about at some point, making playoff a little bigger, expanding.
Yeah. That's an episode
I definitely want to have, but I think we're all going to have very different takes. I definitely am very opinionated on that. So
me and Aaron get into an argument every year for about an hour long.
So what's
every season?
That might be some Patreon.
I think what we'll do is the first week that the rankings are announced, we'll do that as the episode. Okay. And then maybe we'll, because I'm sure it's going to go a long time, we'll cut some out and then we'll put the full version on Patreon.
So, what's your take on it right now?
Okay, you have to just the short stuff because we'll get into it.
Yeah, just short and sweet.
Maybe we should save it.
You want to save it?
Let's save it.
Alrighty, we'll save it.
Because I know you're not going to be able to say it in 5 seconds anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
You can tell me later.
We're going to save it. We're going to do an episode on it because that's going to be a good one coming up.
Okay, let me say this. Do you have a take on it? Don't tell us what it is. Just do you have a specific take on it? Yeah, do you have one, like a specific one?
Yeah, I mean, I have one.
Okay.
Do you have a strong opinion about it?
I mean, no strong opinion, but I just have, this is what I think would be.
I was going to say, me and Nick need to, during the episode, we need to just sit there and try and sway you one way or the other.
That's a good idea.
I thought that would be funny if you didn't have a specific opinion.
I mean, I don't have like a strong opinion. I just think this would be probably the perfect amount, the number of teams in it.
Me and Aaron both have very strong opinions on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we get in arguments about it. It's like politics on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, was that all for Night Needs to Know?
That is all I need to know for the week.
Wow, well, that was a wonderful Night Needs to Know.
That was a great segment. That was a great segment.
It was.
Some good conversations. All
right, good deal. Well, let's talk about a little bit what Alabama's going to have to do to win against Texas A&M.
It's not
the way they've
hard.
looked, not
much.
as much as the past couple of years.
Yeah,
but I still think it's a game that if they're not careful, it could sneak up on it. I don't think it will.
Yeah.
Well, right now, surprisingly, Alabama's only a 13-point favorite against them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that was a little surprising.
Because they're still a very good team, and that's still a very hard place to play. It is at Caulfield, right?
It is. Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of why it's going to be so difficult.
Yeah, that's a very hard place to play, and they're still a very good team. And so, yeah, they'll definitely have to come ready to play, but I think they will.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I think is that obviously Alabama's hurting the most in the linebacker area. And I think this might be the week. I know Kellen Mond hasn't been looking sharp, but I think this might be the week that he's able to stand out a little bit, throwing those short passes, throwing those slants across the middle. I think that there's definitely, if you're going to take down the giant, you gotta.
Yeah, I think he's got to, and I think Jimbo definitely knows that, and I think he's definitely going to be ready for it. And this just depends on whether we can defend it or not.
Yeah, it just depends on Mond, and I don't know if I just don't see Mond having a good game.
So the ESPN matchup predictor has Alabama as an 83.2% chance to win, which is
that's pretty big.
It's pretty high. Yeah,
that's pretty high, especially for a 13-point, spread. That's pretty high.
Looking at these stats between Tua and Kellen Mond, they are very different quarterbacks at this point.
Very different.
Kellen Mond has thrown 4 interceptions this year. Tua has not thrown one yet. That might change against this game, against this team. We'll see.
Texas A&M's defense they've also played
pretty well.
Clemson and Auburn.
Yes, and while Alabama's played Cupcakes and a OK Duke team.
With that Duke team.
Well, they took a loss tonight. Did you know that?
Duke lost.
Yeah. They did.
Yeah.
They lost to who did they lose to?
They lost to somebody.
I just went blank.
They were getting some momentum back, and then
they were down by like 20 or 23. They came back in the fourth quarter. They went ahead.
Yeah, it's not a good loss.
They went ahead in the last minute or so. Then Pittsburgh came back, scored, and they were driving back with 30 seconds left with a chance to at least tie it. And quarterback got sacked and fumbled. Mm-hmm. That was the game. So they lost 33-30, I believe.
Yep, that was the score.
Now, in points allowed per game, this is where it's interesting because Texas A&M has played 2 very good teams in Auburn and Clemson, and they only allow 17.8 points per game. Yeah. Whereas Alabama, who's played nothing but cupcakes, allows 14.8, just slightly less than that. Yeah. Now, do I think they're going to hold Alabama to 17.8 points?
No.
Don't see it.
Absolutely not.
I sure hope not, anyways.
Absolutely not.
Alabama will be scoring 40+.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't think they'll make it to 40. Okay. See, that just comes back to they could easily make it to 40. Let me say that. I just don't think they will.
I think that they do, and I think that this is going to give them about as much trouble as South Carolina did, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to say,
I think it will
40. Let's all throw a guesstimation for the score out there, so we can look like idiots when we're wrong. I'm going to say 45-32.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think they get some points on the board.
All right.
To what? What is
45-32. Alabama.
32.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know that's a little high. I don't even feel extremely comfortable saying that, but I think that they're going to get a touchdown or 2 late, and that they'll stay with them for the first quarter and a half.
I'll go.
I'm going to say 42-17.
42-17.
20 Texas A&M, and then 34-20.
Awesome. Well, you, the listener, your homework is to keep track of our scores because I've already forgot all of ours, including my own. And you can let us know how stupid we are on Twitter when we're all wrong.
Yeah.
Or when I'm right.
Yeah, tweet at us and whichever. If there's somebody right, tweet at them and say hashtag blank is a genius. And if they're a dunce, say hashtag Aaron is a donk, regardless of who got it wrong. Just say Aaron is a donk.
Man, that's not nice.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Say
it's not funny,
hashtag Bo Picks.
I'm so sick of that already. Okay, well, that's all I got to say. For Alabama to win this game, they just got to show up and perform.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no really keys to success.
All they have to do is show up.
They simply have to put more points on the board.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, but if they do get more points, they do win the game.
Yeah, that's true.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's a law of football, according to Aaron. It took him a while to figure it out, but
years.
Yeah.
Now it's what I live by.
Now it is what he lives by. Well, let's get into my segment of the week, Mismanagers.
Oh, man.
Did you grab anything when you walked out the door?
I grabbed nothing but 2 Tortino's pizza out of the refrigerator and my doggy, and we left.
I just kept hearing it. I'm ducking and everything. Died in the house. I got scared. I dropped my hot pocket.
Here's an actual customer out here. What's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
And now, it's time for Mismanagers.
All right, now I know that we've had some weird stories in the past. This week's are out there. Now this first one, it's tame compared to the last two.
Okay, I'm expecting a lot from you.
You're not gonna they're gonna be weird.
Okay,
they're up there. But this first one, it's a little tame, and it's actually
make sense to me.
It's actually a little old, but I've never read this or heard of this before. Some of our fans, especially in Alabama, probably maybe has heard this, but yeah, it got updated. For some reason, the article was updated. Maybe something new came out. I haven't read the entire article, and this year, and so I'm just going to read it to you. This is at AL.com. It's Alabama man poses delivery driver, steals beer, police say. And there's video. So in the video, I'll tell you what happens. This guy, he dresses up like a delivery man. He's got on the pants, the collar shirt tucked into the belt. He's got on a matching hat, the same color as the shirt. He just walks in with a dolly, loads up like multiple cases of beer, and just leaves. And I feel like he represents the state of Alabama and myself for being so brave. In his mugshot, he's just cheesing.
He must not have been from Walker County, though, because he was at least smart enough to think out a plan to go with it. So.
The amount of work that this guy put into it, he could have just probably applied at Walgreens or wherever he's stealing his beer from.
So where'd this happen in Alabama?
So, well, let me just read it to you. So the guy's name is Darius Williams.
All right.
Police are searching for a Millbrook man, they say, poses as a delivery driver to steal cases of beer and soda from grocery stores. Darius...
I like how he added and soda, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much beer. Might need to throw some Mountain Dews on here.
Darius Williams, 22, is described as being 5'10" tall and weighing about 200 pounds, according to Central Alabama Crime Stoppers. While wearing a delivery driver uniform, Williams enters stores with a cart and stacks it with cases of beer and soda, according to Crime Stoppers. Instead of restocking the shelves, though, he loads up his vehicle and leaves. Several store managers in the Prattville area have reported falling victim to Williams. Anyone with information on Williams' scam or his whereabouts is asked to call the police of Crime Stoppers. Yada, yada, yada.
Several? That's my boy.
So, this guy has done this multiple times at multiple different places. He just goes in, he loads up his dolly with beer, and nobody bats an eye when he walks out.
You just got to look the part and have the confidence, man.
That's all you got to do, which I find is pretty remarkable. Which brings me to this question. Have either of you ever stolen anything?
No.
No, says Justin.
No. I don't think so. Not from a store or anything like that. I don't think so.
Just the hearts of women.
Well, not really. Just one.
Just one. Who doesn't listen to the podcast.
Well, she does, and she cringes. And
yes, yeah, mine too.
Can't listen to it.
So Darius Williams, if anyone is out there and sees this man,
if you see him,
let him go. He didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, he did, but he definitely did. Just don't get that twisted or spread that rumor. That's not a indication of how we run the show here.
I also,
How old is the article, though?
The article was originally posted in 2016, but it was updated for some reason in 2019.
Well, that's why I was going to say don't report him, because it was 3 years ago. Not necessarily because he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I was expecting there to be an update with it being updated, but I don't see anything.
They're just like, this was a real thing. They're just letting you know.
Also, the fact that
fact checking.
Okay, let's just move on to it.
We're closer to this point.
Okay, so our next article here. This is by the Huffington Post.
Oof, what? The Huffington Post?
Oh, this is... I don't like this.
This is the title of the article. You ready? Doctors remove 14-pound hairball from woman's stomach.
Ooh. I don't like that.
I want you to think about how heavy 14 pounds is.
There's just something about like wet hair and hairballs that just gets to me, man.
Well, I've got photos. Before I get to them,
you got photos.
Okay.
Before I get to them,
I need to ask this though. A hairball?
Yes, a hairball.
What?
They couldn't have just been hair though. 14
No, it
pounds?
is hair. So imagine, before I show you the picture of it, imagine in your heads, you, the listener as well, how much hair it would take to gather 14 pounds. Think about how light a strand of hair is. And now you got to make that into 14 pounds.
I mean, what the heck is she doing?
My whole body.
Well, let me tell you about it, Justin. A British woman who suffered unexplained abdominal pain for months cried with relief after doctors removed a 14-pound hairball from her stomach. Sophie Cox, 23, of Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, told the Southwest News Service that the giant ball of human hair was built up over 7 years of eating her tresses.
God. Of eating what?
Eating her hair. She was chewing her hair. Yeah. I'm showing Aaron the photo now. Viewer discretion is advised if you try to look this up, because it is gruesome. And
God, it's so gross, man.
That's a lot of hair.
It's so weird.
That is a lot of hair.
I feel like a little baby, like complaining about that. But that's just one of those things that gets to me. I can look at some gross stuff, but just wet hair is just one of the nastiest things to me.
It got to,
and that is
it got to
absolutely
Sophie too.
Disgusting.
6 years ago, Cox was diagnosed with trichotillomania. I apologize for saying that wrong. A condition where sufferers have a compulsive urge to pull out their hair, and trichophagia, where they eat it. Cox said when she was stressed, she found comfort from plucking strands of hair and eating them during the day. So I've heard of girls taking their hair, putting it in their mouth, and chewing on it. I've never heard of anyone pulling out their hair and eating it.
Yeah,
it's too very like. It's still attached, and they just like
they chew on it,
like put it on their mouth.
But to pluck it and then swallow it.
Anytime I have hair in my mouth, it's the worst thing ever. Like you get a piece of hair in your mouth.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
She thought it was harmless until she became pregnant in 2014. During her pregnancy, Cox suffered serious stomach pains and kept losing weight at a time where she should be gaining it. 2 months after her daughter was born, the pains became excruciating and left her doubled in agony. So I'm glad that the daughter was able to be born, presumably healthy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is, was it healthy?
It doesn't say it wasn't, so let's just hope for the best. By October 2015, I couldn't eat without vomiting, and my stomach would swell up, she told the news agency. I'd lost 84 pounds in 2 years and dropped 6 dress sizes, taking me to a size 12. Doctors had no clue what was wrong, but tested Cox for gallstones and stomach cancer. It wasn't until Cox had an endoscopy, however you say that, last November, that they figured out what was wrong. That giant hairball. So that's how it's worded. When they showed me the scan, I was speechless. It looked like something from a horror film, she said. The specialist hadn't seen anything like it in 30 years. It was too big to break down in my stomach.
Years, so they have seen it.
Malnourished and dehydrated.
Let's just point that out. They have seen it. It's just been 30 years.
Yeah, so it's more common than I thought it would be.
Jeez.
14-pound ball of hair is more common.
I mean, that's a lot of hair.
Dude, that was a nasty picture, man.
Even worse than finding out she had a giant hairball in her stomach was waiting 5 months to have it removed. It's a long time.
Why would you have to wait for that?
I don't know.
Especially after 7 years.
The hairball, or trichobezoar, as it's called here, was removed in a 6-hour operation. I felt instantly better when I woke up, even though I was sore and groggy, she said. It was disgusting. I cried with relief that it was gone. Since then, Cox has been monitored regularly to ensure no other hairballs develop. She is also on a waiting list to receive treatment to help determine the underlying cause of her conditions. I'm just so thankful the hairball was found before it was too late, she said. Now I can get on with being a hands-on mom. So this one has a little nice happy ending here. She is better. She's getting treatment.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess, but like, if you gotta like, with an ending like that, and you actually like get it removed at like, how could you ever go back to eating hair?
I know, really.
Like, I mean, I know it's a condition or something, but after that, like the pain you go through, and then seeing that image alone would. Like, well, okay, I think I'm done.
For her safety and health, I hope that she doesn't, because that was rough.
It's disgusting. That's what it is.
All right, and for the last story. Now, before I get into this one, have either of you ever watched the movie The Orphan?
What movie?
So.
The Orphan.
The Orphan?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
So the plot of The Orphan is a young, loving couple that I believe they can't have their own child. They decide to adopt, and they adopt an orphan. Well, as the events in the movie unfold, spoiler alert, they find out that the orphan is actually a 22-year-old.
No, this is the story. I saw this story on an article.
Did you say it's story, though?
Is this
go ahead. I was just messing with
Justin. Where this is going?
So, anyways, the person that in the movie, the person turns out to be an adult posing as a child and tries to murder them all. And
oh wow!
Well, this
that
just
took quite a turn.
Well, this happened to inspire someone apparently to do it in real life.
What?
So this is on Fox59.com. I believe it's a local Indiana news station. They posted this article titled, "Indiana couple accused of abandoning daughter says she was actually an adult who tried to kill them."
You should get a look, though, at the people that adopted her. They look crazy, too.
They do look a little nuts. I'm looking at them now. But, you know, maybe not. Hopefully not.
They look stressed.
Yeah, that's a better word to say it than nuts. They do look very stressed.
It's probably she just tried to kill him.
And
they just like, man.
Spoiler alert.
Crap I've been through. That's what they look like.
And they got some mugshots, and they probably went to jail or something. But spoiler alert, they're not wrong.
Okay.
So they're not crazy.
Well, then
they look crazy.
They had mugshots.
Yeah.
Why do they have mugshots? That's
because weird. At first they were just arrested. I'll read it to you. A couple accused of abandoning their adopted daughter says the allegations are false and they're the victims. According to court documents filed earlier this month in Tippecanoe County, Christine and Michael Barnett adopted a Ukrainian-born girl with dwarfism in 2010, but they abandoned her in Lafayette in 2013 when they moved to Canada. They're accused of changing the girl's age from 8 to 22 before they left, and they told the girl to tell other people she looks young for her age. They were both charged with the neglect of a dependent, and they bonded out of the Tippecanoe County Jail last week. Sorry, I struggled on that one. But in an interview with Daily Mail, Christine says the adoption was a scam, and the girl is actually an adult who has made a career out of fooling people into thinking she's a young girl. Christine told Daily Mail she and her now ex-husband agreed to an emergency adoption from an adoption center in Florida. They didn't know how many details about the girl's background. They just knew she needed a home immediately because her previous adoptive parents gave up for her undisclosed reasons. Within the first,
I think I would have disclosed the reason.
Yeah.
My God.
Within the first few weeks, Christine told Daily Mail there were signs that their new daughter wasn't actually a young girl. She had a sophisticated vocabulary, and she shunned other children. They took the girl to a family physician who ordered bone density tests to help determine her actual age. The results suggested she was at least 14, so Christine says their family began treating her like a teenager. But then, Christine says, the girl started making death threats against them. She allegedly tried to poison Christine and push her into an electric fence, and she attacked a baby. The Barnett family took the girl to a state-run psychiatric unit to get help. During treatment, the girl allegedly confessed to being much older, and she said she wanted to kill her family.
Golly.
Yeah, getting a little crazy here.
It's a real-life nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard little man syndrome, but little woman syndrome sounds way worse.
WLFI got a doctor's report that says that Barnett's daughter is actually an adult. The letter says the girl has made a career of perpetrating her age facade, and she has continued to fool those who have the best intentions. But legally,
she's obviously not very good at it, because if she was good at it, she'd just, play along.
Yeah, not make death threats.
Yeah, not threaten to kill someone. Hey, you're providing for me and I got you fooled. I'm going to make you realize that I'm a psycho. So why don't we threaten you to kill everybody here?
They legally changed the girl's age in June 2012 with the Marion County Superior Court so she could receive appropriate psychiatric treatment. I did not know you could legally change your age.
I did not know that either.
Oh, that's what they said. I thought you said name.
Age.
I was about to say, why does she have to change her name to get treated?
No, it's her age.
You're like, oh, I hate that name. I can't treat you. That name sucks.
Sorry, we don't take any Jerrys here. Try the other one down the street.
Oh, man, that's a crazy story.
Well, it's not over. I just need a drink. Hold on.
Yeah, we don't want you dying on us this week like you did last week.
Yeah,
it sounded disgusting this week.
Life or death situation.
In August 2012, she was discharged from secure psychiatric care. She was placed under the supervision of state healthcare provider Aspire, Indiana. When she was kicked out of that facility, Christine says they helped secure housing for her in Lafayette. They continued to pay for her housing when they moved to Canada for their son Jacob's education. It says some stuff about Jacob.
Yeah, nobody cares about Jacob. Well, I guess Jacob. So is Jacob their biological son then?
Yeah, I think so. Would you like me to read it?
I mean, I don't care either way.
It's not really
important. It's up to you.
I just thought that was a detail we left out.
Christine says she then vanished and stopped returning her calls. She fears she stopped taking her medication and is posing as a child for another family. I would have forced her back into treatment, but I couldn't do that any longer because she was an adult, Christine told Daily Mail.
Yeah, wasn't she She was adopted by another family, wasn't she?
Yeah, I mean,
at one point
she could be. Yeah, at one point.
And then it said she
thinks she was again under a different name, probably.
Yeah.
In 2016, a couple applied to become the girl's guardians, but the Barnetts filed an objection saying she was an adult. Christine says witnesses came before the court to testify they were certain the girl was 22. The judge upheld the original results, and the couple dropped the guardianship petition. Christine says it doesn't make any sense why they're being charged with crimes now, several years after her age was upheld in court for the second time. Michael is expected to appear in court in Lafayette today. It's unclear when Christine's next court appearance is.
Imagine trying to having to explain that to someone. Like, let's just say they got a new job, something. hey, why are you going to court? Well, you see, 3 years ago, our adopted 22-year-old daughter tried to murder us all.
We thought she was
That's why
8.
we're going to court and possibly to jail. Please believe our side. What are you supposed to do?
You would think they were crazy.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, you don't have to come in Monday, and maybe never again. Consider we have your 2 weeks. Don't worry, it's okay.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that one except that I laid it out there for you.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
If you go to adopt, maybe do some background checks. If there's any undisclosed information, maybe
make
that's
sure
why.
that is disclosed.
Yeah,
that has to be a contingency.
Could you imagine just having, you adopt a child, you're like, oh, I just adopted this child, they're great, and then you learn they're 22.
Especially if you like if you can't have kids and all that, something like a long adoption process. They go through and
it's
finally get approved. You get all the paperwork done. And that little one comes home, and then
they try to kill
you. Hey, I want to kill you.
Why would you have a deep voice?
I don't know. I was just thinking because they're actually older. They just look like they're 8.
Yeah, I just found this.
They don't open their mouth at all until they get into the house. Like, I'm gonna kill you.
I just found this so interesting because it's literally the plot of a movie made years before it happened.
Like, there's so many,
maybe that's what she took it from.
I mean,
she's like, this is her career of choice, as it stated. I just don't get the thought process. She's not a very good criminal.
Well, I want to know how long she's been doing this.
I'd like to know that too. I mean, I guess illegally since she was 18, probably. She was 22, so 4 years.
But that makes me wonder, when she was little, did she get adopted? Mm-hmm. And was she originally adopted?
Yeah, how long?
When she found out that she was I guess when she found out she was a dwarf, I don't know how. But anyways, when she's getting older, she found out she's different and everything, and then she took advantage of that before she ever turned 18 too. Yeah. Or how that worked.
I don't know, but yeah. Well, we have one more thing to get into today outside of evil children.
Really? One more?
Yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite football movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so right off the bat, do y'all just want to name your favorite football movie? Justin, you can go first.
Favorite football movie?
All right. I have to go with Remember the Titans. That's my all-time favorite.
We got more suggestions for Remember the Titans on Facebook than anything else. We had a lot for it.
That was my all-time favorite growing up. I used to love watching. I'd watch that movie over and over again. It was a great movie.
It is a great movie. There's a lot of good lessons in that too, I think, and it's one that holds up. It doesn't really date weird or anything.
That's very true.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is probably Remember the Titans, but I don't want. I want to bring up a different one. I'm going to bring up. Let's pull up a list here and let's just talk through them.
If I had to pick a second favorite, it'd probably be Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights is my favorite.
Or good old classic Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy's good. Let's just go through the list. So Friday Night Lights is probably that one gets me in my feels more than any other one.
Oh yeah, that one gets you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very emotion tugging movie.
Yeah, especially because it was more our time too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So you get if you haven't seen Friday Night Lights, go watch it. You've had 15 years to watch it, but just the way that movie wraps up, and that's a movie that you think, how can I spin this to have a good conclusion with them losing at the end? But it actually works out, and all these characters, they kind of,
it's not as predictable.
Yeah, it's not very predictable, and it's all these characters kind of wrap up their own stories, with Boobie Miles and the quarterback, and they all kind of come around on what they've been building for.
Watch him spin. Something like that.
That was it. We also got couple Adam Sandler ones that a lot of people like.
Waterboy.
We got Waterboy, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
That's great.
The Mississippi Mud Dogs, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, Mississippi Mud Dogs.
There's one that I forgot about. Invincible.
Yeah.
The Longest Yard. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so that's the other Adam Sandler's the Longest Yard remake.
I didn't see it up there on the screen. I just thought
I thought about it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why it took me so long to think of that.
That's a funny one. And one that's
I'd say the original Longest Yard's better.
Yeah, I think it is too, but it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good.
Have any of you seen Any Given Sunday?
I have not.
I can't say I've seen that one either, but it's on here on the top movies. Yeah, you got Invincible. That was really good. That was a Disney movie. I forgot that was made by Disney.
Yeah. I did not know that was a Disney movie. I thought it was pretty good though.
Yeah, that is a good one. One that I just thought about is Blue Mountain State.
Yeah,
that's a good one. It's just a funny one. Rudy's good. That's a classic. It's cliche and it's campy, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's another big one that I'm missing though.
One that blew up around here, The Blind Side. Everyone went nuts for that movie.
The Blind Side. Yeah.
That was a good movie. I love listening to Michael Orr's interviews.
Take on it? Oh man,
because he doesn't like the movie.
He does not. They made him look stupid in it.
I love the interview where he's talking about like the scene where I believe he's talking about like where he sees the balloon fly up ahead, and he's like, they acted like I've never seen a balloon before. He's like, I've seen a balloon.
It made him look dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I mean, he seems like he got into college.
Yeah.
He's whatever. Still a good movie. I really liked Michael Orr actually wrote a book right after this came out that was really good. I read it when I was young. I can't remember the name of it, but it kind of dove into the real life story, and it was really good. So We Are Marshall is another one on here.
That's a good one.
That's a great one with Matthew McConaughey.
That was a fantastic movie.
That's another one that's it's pretty inspiring, and it gets you in your feels too.
I couldn't imagine that situation. I mean, that's probably one of the tougher situations you ever.
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest tragedies ever in college football, really. If not the biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of one bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't think there is. I mean, I couldn't imagine something like that.
No, I mean that was an absolute tragedy, but that's a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all watched The Express? That's one I haven't seen.
Not seen that.
Is Ernie Davis?
No, I haven't seen that.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's got a lot of big reviews here, but I haven't seen that. Varsity Blues is the one I'm thinking about, not Blue Mountain State. Blue Mountain State is the team in a show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Blue Mountain State the name of the show?
I think so.
Yeah. Which is a funny show.
Gridiron Gang is one.
Oh, yeah. Are you a fan of Gridiron Gang?
I mean, it's okay, I guess.
I don't think I've seen that one, actually.
You haven't seen Gridiron Gang with The Rock?
Oh, yeah. It's fine. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Varsity Blues is good, though. That's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that movie a lot. We got the original Longest Yard here.
That's a classic.
Little Giants is good.
Might sound very stupid here, but I did not know there was an original Longest Yard. I thought it was,
oh, really? Didn't know that? Yeah.
You didn't know it was original?
I did not know.
Wow.
I live under a rock.
1974. That's right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just never really thought about it.
Yeah, because they got what's his name to come back? Burt Reynolds. They got Burt Reynolds back.
Yeah.
For the remake. He was the coach.
Okay, we'll just cut that out. Nobody needs to know that I didn't know that.
Oh, it's staying in, Aaron. Let's see what else we got. Radio. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie.
Leatherheads. This is one I wanted to bring up.
I haven't seen either one of those.
Leatherheads, it's got John Krasinski in it from Jim, The Office. And it's like the early days of football. Have you seen this, Justin?
I have not.
This is a good movie. So it's like early 1900s or late 1800s. I can't remember, but it's when football is just like coming around.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and it's just like it's a very different game back then. And there's a scene where they like learn to pass the ball. They're like, well, what if we just throw it?
Yeah.
They're like, well, throw it to where? And he's like, just like over the line. Instead of just running to every play. That's a good movie.
Oh, so is it kind of describing? I remember they talked about this in the college football 150 years kind of documentary they're doing. Is it talking about the guy that kind of introduced the forward pass?
Yeah, it's kind of like doing a little riff on that. So I don't know if they use his actual name or anything, but it's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen Leatherheads or Radio.
Yeah, both of those are good. Draft Day was good. It came out just a few years ago.
Yeah, I thought it was much better than I thought it was going to. Like, when we first saw the trailer for it and everything, it turned out a lot better than it was expected to.
How about The Game Plan with The Rock? You remember that one?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Who was his daughter?
I don't know.
I don't remember who played the daughter, but
she was somebody who's played in a lot of movies.
Believe
but
it
she
or
was
not,
really
I
young.
don't know many 9-year-old actresses' names. I don't keep.
Well, she wouldn't be 9-year-old now.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was our age.
I mean, let's see who played her.
What year did that come out?
Like 2006 or something like that.
Okay, that was longer.
She would have been our
that
age.
was farther away than I thought.
I don't know who the girl was, but probably a Disney Channel star or something. So one we got a lot of suggestions for was
that's a good
Facing the Giants.
Oh yeah, Facing the Giants.
We got a lot of comments on that one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Facing the Giants, one of the best football scenes.
Yeah, it's got a good message. I know that the studio.
Facing the Giants. I got confused. I was thinking of. Have you ever seen Little Giants?
Yeah. Little Giants is on here. Little Giants is good.
Little Giants is a good one too. Facing the Giants is good too, but Little Giants is that's a classic.
It is a classic. It's a funny movie. But Facing the Giants, I know that this is kind of an indie film made by a church, and they did a good job. They ended up doing more movies off the back of that one.
Yeah, they've come up with a bunch of great movies. They came out with the movies about the police officers. What was the name of that one?
Yeah, I remember that one. It was like
and the firefighters too.
Yeah, and the firefighter movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One's Fireproof.
Mm-hmm.
One is I think Flywheel. Or something like that. I think it's Flywheel.
I think the police one is like Courageous or something.
Yeah, Courageous.
That might be the name of it.
So probably the most controversial one of recent years was Will Smith's Concussion.
Yeah, and I didn't agree with a lot of that stuff surrounding the movie, but the actual movie's really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've only seen parts of it at this point. I was a little too scared to watch it in high school because I had many concussions, but I just definitely want to go back to and watch it in entirety. Have you ever seen Concussion, Justin?
I've just seen clips of it. I haven't seen the full movie.
Well, that is about The Long Shots. That's a good one too.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
Ice Cube's like daughter as a quarterback. It's a good one.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, well, do y'all have any other football movies you'd like to talk about? Any football movies you absolutely hate?
I can't really think of any right now.
I'm going to go through the list here and see, because I know there's some that I'm just like, I don't want to watch that.
There's a lot that I just don't want to watch right now.
Yeah, like The Game Plan. I do not want to watch that.
Zero desire to watch it.
I'd be happy if I died and never watched that movie again.
I don't plan on it.
I saw it one time when I was a child, and
I'd forgot about it until you said something, and I was,
I hadn't even thought about that movie until you said something.
Yeah, not a very memorable movie.
No.
The Comebacks. I don't care to watch that movie ever again. You ever seen it?
I have not, but I've heard a lot about that one.
I remember thinking it was hilarious in 6th grade, and now that I'm thinking back about it, I'm like, that doesn't sound good. It was just kind of raunchy, stupid comedy.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
The Game Stands Tall. I don't want to watch that movie again.
Once again, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
So that one's about the high school. Isn't that right? That's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah. So the high school.
Okay, I have seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. De La Salle. De La Salle. Is that how you say it? Spartans.
Yeah.
De La Salle.
I can't remember. I think I actually liked that one, but I don't remember if I did or not. But another good football movie was Woodlawn.
Oh yeah.
That was an amazing movie. What was the movie with? It was about the high school team that had like the longest winning streak.
That's the Game Stands Tall.
Yeah, that's the Game Stands Tall.
It was just so cliche. I didn't like it.
But it wasn't awful.
I don't remember much about it. Like, I think I liked it, but I don't remember.
Do y'all remember the movie where Gary Busey played Bear Bryant?
No.
I don't remember that.
I think it was just called Bear Bryant or Bear or something. Let me pull it up. The Bear, a 1984 film where Gary Busey played Paul Bear Bryant. It came out in 1984.
How do you remember this? That's my question. It's weirder that you remember it than we don't.
It's not. Yeah, it didn't have a very long lifespan. So it came out a year after Bear Bryant's death, and they got Gary Busey
to play him. Which was 14 before your birth, so I don't know how you know anything about this.
So this was before Gary Busey. Famously, he has suffered some mental injuries that has likely affected his acting as well as other things. But this was before any of that, when it was kind of still Gary Busey trying to be kind of a serious actor, and it's just this is not very good. I don't advise you to see it.
I don't plan on watching it.
It's so slow and it lingers. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, we actually had somebody message in that said that they wanted us to do some Gary Busey talk, so that worked out good.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, good deal. But I think that's it for the show. It's 2:13. I'm going to be editing this till about 3:30 a.m. So
if I was you, I would just edit this.
Go to bed.
Edit this later in the day.
The fans need it, Justin. There's no time for that.
Y'all see what we put up with? Y'all see this?
Yeah.
What a slacker.
What a slacker.
What, who, me?
You, Justin.
I mean, I am here, recording until 2:13 a.m.
That's true.
Not at my house.
In Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, let's wrap this thing up then. Thank you for listening. We've had a lot of good support here recently, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And be sure to find us on social media. Follow us at TGM Pod on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You can email us your suggestions for future topics.
Did you even check the email?
Yes, I did. Nobody messaged us. They don't care about us.
Okay.
Yeah, but message us anyways, even though nobody likes us, at gamemanagerspod@gmail.com. You can follow all of us there. You can follow me at Norisosaurus on Twitter, NORRISOSAURUS. You can also...
Done it again, boys and girls. 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. I got to keep it going.
Let's go.
You can donate to us on Patreon for exclusive content that will be coming eventually, sooner rather than later. Be sure to subscribe for future comments and leave a nice review if you like this show. This actually really helps the show grow if you do. So
it does. We've already got some nice reviews.
We do have a few nice reviews. So that's one of the main things that people check out when they're looking at new podcasts. So if you do like the show, if you want to support the show, please leave a nice one. We have shirts at TeePublic. They're some of the softest shirts you ever felt in your life. The link is in the description for that, and we're doing a couple giveaways right now. So Alabama and Auburn tickets, and of course we do our weekly giveaways. If you want to be on the Tide versus Tigers trivia, just comment on that post. It'll be up every week. And do you guys have anything to add?
Thanks for listening. I want to go to bed though.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening, and I'm glad Auburn has a bye week.
We'll make Justin stay up, and we'll do what we got to do so we can get this out to you in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
Bright and early.
Bright and early. So for all of you that wake up at 4 a.m. and think, like, where's my podcast? It's going to be there.
Because we know it's all of you. It better be every single one of you.
All right. Well, that is it. Want to say adios again?
Adios.
Nice. Goodbye.
See y'all later.